Hi everyone and welcome to part 1 of this new starting from scratch Football Manager 2015 experiment featuring Juventus. So I revived the series a few days ago with PSG. I did a few back in November, December time with some other big teams. I think it works better with big teams, but I'm open to doing other teams, mid-table teams, smaller teams, also whole divisions like I did with the English Premier League. I could do all German Bundesliga teams, for example. But just let me know some suggestions in the comment section below if you want me to do any more of these. I'm going to be doing probably 2 or 3 parts to this depending on how it goes. I'll just do one season in this first season. For those of you wondering what the hell this is, what I have basically done is I have removed all of the first team players from the Juventus squad. Everyone aged 19 or upwards have been released from the club. Another aspect of this sort of series is it's interesting to see where those players go. I've also removed the manager of Juventus. I've kept all the coaching staff and that sort of thing, but the manager has gone, so it's interesting to see who takes over. So I'm going to holiday one episode in this video and we will see if they can survive relegation. PSG were relegated. Can Juventus survive? You never know. Financial fair play can be a problem, so they are often unlikely to be able to sign lots of big name players back straight away. They often have to wait till the second season, by which time they may be in the division below. So I've holidayed to the end of the 2014-15 season. As you can see, Juventus have actually been relegated on 35 points along with Siena and Parma, who had a point deducted. Genoa were actually champions ahead of AC Milan, Sampdoria and Napoli. Wow, that's probably a bit of a surprise to be honest, but Juventus being out of that race has allowed other teams to obviously challenge for that title. No one ran away with it. Let's have a look at Juventus then and see what happens to them. It's quite likely that this will happen to most teams that we do this with because they just don't have the money to spend in that first season and they're playing with a group of young players. So the manager is Dello Rossi, and they're still 4-star reputation and rich, but that's dropped slightly. I believe they're on 4.5 at the start of this. So they signed £6.75 million worth of players. Their biggest signing was Andrea Barberis from Varese. He's 21. They've signed a few other players for small fees. They sold 3 players, or sent 2 players out on loan and sold 1 player. So it's a completely different team. They haven't managed to sign any big names. Let's look at how these players did for them. Who was top scorer? Top scorer was Barberis, who's a defensive midfielder. There's 6 goals for Galano as well, a striker. So they've really struggled this season. It's a surprise they didn't struggle even more than they did and sort of end up with 15 points with the team that they have. Lost 4-0 against Udinese in the first game of the season. Champions League wise, lost against Olympiacos, Benfica, both 1-0, and Monaco 1-0. Let's see how they did. Who won the Champions League? Bayern Munich beat Liverpool in the final, but that was a real struggle, that Champions League campaign. They did actually manage to get 1 draw there. They got to the Super Cup final. Is that maybe just a thing from last year because they won the league perhaps? I'm not really sure about the Italian Super Cup. Looking down the list, you know, they got the odd win here and there. They beat Roma 1-0 and maybe a couple more wins towards the end of the season against Parma, who were relegated to them, and against Lazio as well. Overall, very poor season. So in part 2 we're going to have to see if they are able to recover. That's the interesting thing about this series, I guess. How quickly do they recover? And can they go on and win the league within the next sort of 6 seasons? I'll give them a limit to that. So we'll do 3 seasons for part 2. If they win the league, we'll end it there. If they don't, then we'll give them another 3 seasons to see if they can finish first. And if they don't after that, then it's really the end. But I think a lot of you are probably interested to see where certain players went, especially players like Paul Pogba. Let's have a quick look to see where he went. He's at PSG, where he's actually been tipped in the last couple of days to go in real life. Obviously going on a free, and did quite well in his first season there. Let's look at Arturo Vidal, one of, if not my favourite midfielder in the world right now. He's at Man United, who obviously in the last couple of seasons has been massively tipped to go there. Liverpool actually won the league though in England. Moving on to Pirlo, who also went to PSG, helping them to win the league, I would presume. Yep, predictably so. Chiellini, Italian defender, one of my favourite defenders, went to Barcelona. Didn't play a huge number of games in the league though. Carlos Tevez ended up at Benfica. Very impressive goal record. They're 25 goals in 26 games. Buffon's also gone to France, but he's gone to Lyon. We'll just look at a couple more players. Llorente's gone to Real Madrid, of all teams. And did pretty well. 21 goals in 19 starts and 26 sub-appearances. And lastly, we'll finish with Patrice Evra, who's moved back to France and is playing for Saint-Etienne. So, some interesting moves there. I hope you find the next couple of videos interesting. They'll either be 2 more parts or just 1 more part, depending on how Juventus do. I guess we can presume that they'll spend a bit more money in the next season, in the close season, and try and get promoted back up to Serie A straight away. But please leave a like on this video if you've enjoyed it, if you're interested in more of these sort of things. And I'll try and get part 2 up for you as quickly as possible. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you soon.